Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to be going over the current best playbooks on both offense and defense for Madden 22. Some things have changed since the beginning of the year, and a lot of new people are about to be getting the game for Christmas, so I want to make sure to do an updated video and let you guys know which playbooks you should be focused on this year. Now, right out of the gate, we have to start with the most unique playbook in the game, the Ravens playbook. Now, you're not going to typically use this playbook for the single back or even like the I form or the strong. They have those formations there, you can use them, but where this formation gets really creative is in the pistol and in the shotgun, but more specifically the pistol. This playbook has pretty much every pistol formation you can think of, and they have some really good ones like the strong slot, for example. This is a very good formation to have a run pass balance. You've got the stretch RPO, we've got some PA plays, you've got a halfback dive, but you also have plays like the PA boot LT, you have jet touch passes, you also have option plays and the triple option, which is probably a top 5 run in the entire game. You also have pistol weak, which is really good. You have pistol weak slot, and then even if you go over to formations like pistol bunch, you can do a lot of creative things with these formations. Pistol spread, all these formations are really good to experiment with. Then you come to shotgun and you have a lot of interesting stuff here too, like the split wing nasty, you've got the split close pro. All of these have some unique plays in them. You've got split twins, a lot of unique plays like the post halfback corner with the running back out of the backfield on a corner route, very good route. You've also got all these other formations like the normal Y off close. You can do a lot of creative stuff with these formations, the normal Y off. You've got the Y off trio weak. You've got a shotgun bunch, which is always nice. It's not one of the best bunches in the game, but it has a few of the staple plays that you would want to use. It's got some really good spread formations. It's also got, of course, your empty formations like empty base flex and empty quads. Really quickly, before we finish with the rest of this list, I do want to let you know that I officially launched my Patreon page. If you want to help support the channel, there's going to be a ton of extra weekly content going on that page. All of the best money plays in the game, the best blitzes, the best schemes, my ebooks, pretty much everything you need to go from a beginner to intermediate Madden player, which I teach you here on this channel, to take you to an advanced level to where you can dominate online and win the majority of your games. If you want to help support the channel, link is below in the pinned comment. Next up is the Patriots playbook, always one of the top playbooks in Madden. It's not the clear-cut best like it used to be. There are some better ones, but it is still a very loaded playbook. You have, of course, a decent amount of single back stuff. You've got some good stuff like I form Z close. You've got some strong formations. You've got weak close, which is nice. You even got a pistol formation. But once you get into the shotgun, you have some better things like heavy patriot. You've got a slot offset, which is always one of the best formations in the game, and this is the best a slot offset in the game in the Patriots playbook. You've also got a bunch of doubles formations. You've got Y off trips pats, another one of those sneaky good formations that's really not found in a lot of playbooks. You've got a very good trips tight end in this playbook, one of the best trips tight ends in the entire game. You've also got gun bunch, which is a very popular formation. It's not one of the best gun bunches in the game, but it does have a few of the staple plays that you need. You've got tight slots, you've got some good spread stuff. You've even got trips tight end flex, which is really good. You've got trips Y flex. This is another kind of unique formation. And then of course you've got your empty sets that are nice as well. Next up on offense is the Bills playbook. This playbook has never really been that good in years past, but this year it had a complete makeover and it is just loaded with a ton of good stuff. You've got a lot of good single back stuff. You've got some good I form formations like the Z close, which you don't find in a lot of playbooks. You've got strong Z close. You've got weak Z close, weak slot close. Again, some of these formations you don't find in a lot of playbooks. You've even got some really good pistol formations. This pistol trips is a very unique formation that you don't see in a lot of playbooks with the PA boot over. You've got inside cross. You've got a stretch out of this as well. You've got PA X dagger, which is a very unique play. You've got the fake bubble screen. You've got the RPO bubble screen. Really unique formation. Then you get to shotgun. Now, when you get to shotgun, you've got some unique stuff here. You've got split slot. You don't see this in a lot of playbooks. You've got your normal formations. You've got the Y off X close, which is very similar to the Y off Pats formation. I believe these are the only two playbooks that have this formation, so that's a big selling point of this playbook. You've got another really good trips tight end in this playbook as well, which is popular. Of course, you've got your gun bunch with a few of those staple gun bunch plays. You've got shotgun tight, which is always nice. You got some spread stuff. You've got Trey Y flex, which is one of my favorite formations, and you have your empty formations as well. Next up on offense is the Colts playbook, and this is more of a playbook that you're going to use for very specific reasons. It's not the most loaded playbook. You do have a decent single back. You've only got weak under center. You don't have like I form or strong, so this definitely is not a playbook for a runner. This is a passer playbook, and the main thing you're going to use out of this is the gun bunch bunch offset. This is the best gun bunch offset in the game. It's a little bit different than the regular gun bunch because it has the play double post, which is the best passing play in the game, but you've also got other good plays out of here like Z-spot, curl flat, you've got flood, and you've got the verts halfback under. This is probably the overall best bunch formation as a whole in the game, and you also have the tight slots halfback weak, which is another very popular formation. You can audible between these two, and these are basically the two reasons that you would use this playbook if you're a very heavy passer. You've also got some other unique stuff like the bunch Y flex, which is a new formation to the game this year. You've got trips, tight end offset, so you do have other stuff you can use, but you know, this playbook really makes its money with the bunch offset and the tight slots halfback weak. Now also note that the Panthers and Bengals playbooks are very similar to the Colts. There are some differences, so you might want to check those out if you do like the Colts playbook, but they're going to have the bunch offset, the tight slots halfback weak. They're going to have the, you know, major formations are going to be pretty much the same, but there are some slight changes, so you may want to check those out. Up next on offense is the Las Vegas Raiders playbook. This has been the clear-cut best playbook on offense for the past 2 years. It's not necessarily the clear-cut best this year. It's definitely in the top 3 though. In single back, they have a ton of great formations, especially the wing close flex. You don't really see this in a lot of playbooks. They've got a bunch of I-form formations. They got I-form close, I-form close flex, tight, wing, you've got strong close, strong slot. This is a playbook for a runner. If you want to run the ball, you absolutely must be in this playbook, but it also has a lot of good passing stuff as well. You've got the gun split twins, the wing slot offset, you've got tight slots halfback weak, which is another really good formation that a lot of people like to use. You've got bunch tight end, which is one of the best formations in the game, and this is not in a ton of playbooks. You've also got gun bunch. It's not one of the best gun bunches. It's not on the level of like the Colts playbook, but it's decent enough when you consider the fact that you have a great bunch tight end and that you have tight slots halfback weak and that you also have Trey Y flex, which is another good formation. You've got a bunch of different empty sets. Look at this: bunch quads, base flex, empty trio, empty Trey stack. It's just got a lot of variety on offense. It's got a couple of those powerful formations that people love to use like bunch tight end and tight slots, but it has pretty much everything you can need from the standpoint of running the ball. So if you're a heavy runner or a balanced type player, this is probably the playbook you're going to want to use. Next up on offense is the Seahawks playbook. This is the playbook that I've been using for most of the year. This is probably the most popular offensive playbook as a whole. It's got a lot of good stuff under center. It's got a good deuce close formation with plays like flood and things like that. I've broken down this formation on my Patreon. I did a whole mini scheme on it. I also did an entire ebook based out of this playbook. So again, if you want to check out the Patreon, the link is below. I've got a lot of good breakdowns and high level tips on there, but this has a really good single back. It's got even single back bunch tight end, which is nice. It's got some decent I-form stuff. You've got just enough under center stuff to run the ball. This strong HY off, the stretch alert looky, very good stretch run here. And again, these two I-forms, you got some decent running. You've also got a few pistol formations, which are nice, but when you get to the shotgun, this is where, you know, people really like this playbook. It's a little bit more of a passer's playbook than a runner's playbook, but you've got a decent trips tight end offset. But when you get to bunch, you've got the best regular gun bunch in the game, so don't get this confused with bunch offset from the Colts playbook. It's slightly different, but this is the best regular bunch. You're going to have clear out, SE out, a very good play that's not in a lot of playbooks. You got Z spot and go. You've got bench pivot. You've got bunch trail, which is also not in a lot of playbooks. You've got inside cross, another good play. You've got verticals. You've got flood. You've got mesh post. You've got the read option. Just a really loaded bunch. And then of course you've got bunch tight end. You've got the best bunch and bunch tight end combo in the game. That is why a lot of people love this playbook. You still have tight slots. It's not the best tight formation, but it's okay. You've got Trey Y flex, which is good. You've got empty bunch, another formation that's not in a lot of playbooks. You've got empty Y off and empty hawk. Now next up, we're going to talk about a couple of defensive playbooks you're going to want to look into. The Bears playbook is the first one. It's been the most popular all year. In my opinion, it's the one I've used. You've got some 3-4 stuff, but this is not really why you're going to use the playbook. First off, you've got 4-3 even, 6-1. This is a really good formation that you can use the blitz out of. Then you've got the 4-4 split, which is nice. The nickel is really where people use this playbook the most. You've got the 3-3-5 wide, the most balanced and best formation on defense in the game. You've got 2-4-5 odd, which is another really good formation that a lot of people use. A little bit better versus the pass than the run, but a heavy meta formation. And then you've got nickel triple. This is a very powerful formation to blitz out of. I like to mix this in a lot, so just a very good amount of nickel in this playbook. And then of course you have the dime 1-4-6, which is still popular as well. Also, Also on defense, you want to look at the Buccaneers playbook. This one has gotten a little bit more popular as the year has gone on. You have a little bit better of a 3-4 set out of this playbook, so if you do like 3-4, this playbook's a little better there. You still got the 4-4 split. One of the main differences here is that you don't have the nickel triple. Instead, you have nickel 2-4-5 double A gap. Now, some people prefer double A gap over nickel triple. I personally like nickel triple better. I've even done a breakdown on that on my Patreon as well, showing a really good blitz out of that. So I like nickel triple better, but some people prefer the double A gap. But you still have the 2-4-5 odd and the 3-3-5 wide, which are the most important. And then in this one, you have the big dime 1-4-6 as well, but you also have the 2-3-6, which a lot of people do like this formation as well. So it's really a preference between Bucks and Bears, kind of depending on which formations you like the most. But they both share the most important formations, so you can't really go wrong with either. Hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Check out some of these other videos right here on the screen. Subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys next time.